everything. And that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
That's what's up. Here we are. That's
Yeah.
John. That's a classic. I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, and I say it all the time. That's a classic.
Yes.
That and Fly On, that third verse.
It's a bop, son.
I'm serious. Hot. You
It
need to
is.
be out there. But anyway, this is before my brother say something. This is things that people don't want to talk about, brought to you by God Level. That will be me. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm a friend, I'm an aunt, I'm a cousin. I have a podcast, I'm an entrepreneur. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father. Yes, that was me. I Everything. That's the name of that track. A lot of people have been asking about it. Right?
That's what's up.
I Everything.
And it's
Mhm.
hot.
That album is Final Dimensions. I Everything is on Final Dimensions, available on all major streaming platforms. So if you like positive vibes, positive hip hop, something that's going to get you thinking, if you like that old school hip hop where you had to rewind the track and be like, what did he say? That's me. Plug in. Salute.
Especially on Fly On. If you listen to Fly On, that third verse, you're gonna have to rewind it again. I'm so serious. I'm sorry. Anyway, King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. This King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am of service to my community. Peace.
That's what's up. Ivy Turner, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
What's going on, y'all? I'm Ivy Tanner, former Army broadcast journalist. Also on TikTok is Inattentive Ivy. I'm your resident crazy person here, I guess. Me and all my hamsters. I'm
love it.
I'm a lover of life. Future art therapist. I need to start putting that into the atmosphere.
Ooh,
Like,
You
yeah.
do.
future
Because I
art
love your
therapist.
art back there. And I didn't even know you did it yourself. I'm
Thank
so
you.
serious. I was like, I like that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But
No
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Amanda,
I'm
you
here
want to
for
go
it.
ahead and represent? Oh, I'm sorry. What you
No,
doing?
I was just going to say I'm here of service.
Oh,
But it's still me.
Yes.
we all are. Amanda, I'm going to wait on that. Amanda, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yes. Hi, y'all. I am Amanda Fuller. I am a mother, a nurse, a wife. I am a safe space. This is a safe space. I'm happy to be here at your service.
Absolutely. We're missing Diamond this week. He is actually traveling right now, so he won't be here with us for the next 2 weeks. Creation Divine to be jumping in here in about 20 minutes. And yeah, what I was going to say is everyone here is giving back to the community. If you really sit back and think about it, each and every last one of us is giving back to the community. So I love that. Tonight's topic is why did I get married? I've seen some of the responses on the group page, which was actually pretty good. Some, some of them was pretty good. But some of the questions that came behind that about, man being a provider. I seen the question about, did you see that if I make 100 grand a year and he makes 55?
Yeah, those type of.
You didn't see that?
Listen,
I was just like,
there
I didn't.
is so many variables.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think at that point it's all in what you feel comfortable with.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
want to go with society, then
Mhm.
society will tell you, "Oh, girl, don't date him." But if that's what you want and that's who you love, then do you, boo?
Absolutely.
It
I
ain't
think
got.
that should be-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that should be the disclaimer of the show. Like, whatever you decide to do in your marriage is your
Yeah.
business.
No life.
There's no right
That's
way
right.
or wrong ways to do that. If it's, hopefully it's healthy for you and it works for y'all, that's your
Yeah, and I'm
decision.
glad you did say that. That disclaimer. This episode is not us advising anybody in terms of which vehicle for a relationship that you're going to participate in. That choice is yours and yours only. We are just inviting the audience to reflect on these considerations in hopes that they can either apply them to their own reflections as they move on from divorce, seeking marital counseling, or just merely passing on these considerations and this perspective onto the younger family members who are still pondering about their prospects for marriage. So, yeah, divorced, widowed, or not, um, whether you're married, still married, your wisdom can be used to prevent any family dysfunction. So that's what this podcast
Oh yeah,
episode is about today.
I can talk about it all because I've been married and divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Throw them questions my way if you got any. I don't know
Y'all
who want to
like
go first.
y'all already know my story. Well, y'all know my story, but I don't know if y'all know my story.
Well,
I
let's
have been
start off with this one.
okay.
Start off with that one.
Hmm.
True or false?
I felt prepared for marriage, before the proposal. No, I wasn't prepared before it, during it, after it. I was not prepared. I didn't know what marriage was. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
Mhm.
Seriously, didn't know what it was. Didn't figure it out until later. And for anybody out there who's listening, I'm real transparent about all my stuff. I have been married twice. I married the same guy twice, divorced him, and on the way again. Unfortunately, it happens. It happens. So, I mean, I'm here to listen and also to be a cautionary tale. Just
Well, we
put that
learn
out
from our
there.
mistakes. It's
All right.
I'm sorry.
You.
Everybody hard. No, listen. Okay, I'm all for the institution of marriage. Let me go ahead and put that out there. I'm all
ahead.
for it. But I think that you really have to have a handle on who you are as a person
Mhm.
before you get
Yeah.
married. And
Yeah.
I think that you also, like, people change. You also have to be prepared that you're going to change. Your spouse might change, and be prepared for those situations. But if you're true to yourself, then those things will work out. I got married way too young. You know what I'm saying? And had no idea who I was as a woman, and he had no idea who he was as a man. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I
Mm.
think that it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I've reflected, I've looked back, and in light of new information and looking at my background and his background, it was almost like a trauma bond.
Ooh, nobody talks about those, girl.
Yeah. His father was addicted to alcohol. My father was addicted to crack cocaine. His father beat his family. My father beat our family. And the woman, and our mother still stayed, except his mother left. So I congratulate her because she left that situation, not after dealing with a lot of abuse. And my mother continued the abuse. So it was, we exchanged stories. Growing up in the hood, how was it? I met him when I was 20, and we were together for almost 14 years.
Yeah.
So did you feel prepared?
No, but I was already doing everything a wife would do,
Okay. Amanda?
I did not feel prepared. I believe I began to prepare myself after the proposal. Like, okay, I'm gonna really be a wife. These are the things that I want to do. When he think of me as his wife, I want to make sure that I'm doing these things properly for him. So my idea of marriage may not be everybody else's, but I wanted to be prepared in my way.
That's what's up, John. Did you think we was gonna leave you out of this? You thought we was gonna leave you out of this?
Oh, you was not getting away from that, brother.
We were going to skip.
You
Sir.
can't just ask all the ladies the question and you not answer it, brother. He hasn't been married yet, so it's you.
All right, I felt somewhat prepared.
Mhm.
First off, I was in the Army when I made my proposal, and it was over the phone. It was it was a desperate move. It had very good intentions behind it, but it was a very desperate move, and I was really creating as I was going. I knew that I loved my ex-wife, and I felt like that was enough because we were going that long, and it was through love that I was able to do these miraculous things. It was like, as long as I got the love first, and it was just like this Sprite type of attitude through, hopeful romantic, not hopeless, hopeful.
Mm.
So I was moving through that, and then it was like we were supposed to actually have closure in that phone call, but it was that feeling of, dang, this is it. And I could feel it.
Wow.
And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And then I proposed. And she was like, how's it gonna work? I was like, you know me, I'm gonna make a way. And so
Mm.
there it was. Yeah, 3 years. So we posed this very same prompt question in the chat. By the way, y'all should join our group, things that people don't want to talk about. Go ahead and
Yeah.
plug into that.
Yes, sir.
We had 11 respondents. We had 2 say very true. Oh yeah, I gave more options. So I mean, you guys' responses were very adequate though. But 2 of them said very true. 5 said somewhat true. 2 said very false. 2 said somewhat false, and 0 said unsure. Now I posed this question because this is a very deep commitment, right?
It is.
And we ask ourselves these questions, family members, people that we really respect, that have a sense of authority. They ask us, are you sure you're ready? And you have to be sure, right? You have to be. So sometimes we say it just because that's just the feeling. But the preparation is very subjective, right? Because preparation is not just, oh, I feel good about this. It's, do you have the equipment? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the talent to be a spouse? And a lot of us aren't raised to be spouses. A lot of us come from households that they're not even adorned with that title. And so what does preparation look like? For certain families, it's okay, from childhood all the way up, I'm preparing you for marriage. But this is just one aspect of who you are. Some are privy to that. Some, right? Being a housewife, some are trained, conditioned to be that way. But without that training, it's like, okay, I know what I want to do. I want to be a husband. And so you're studying like a little bit of what a husband does, and then the rest of it you're just making up.
Right.
And that could be a setup for failure, right? I mean, especially because a lot of us don't even have a vision of what a successful marriage looks like. We hear things like, oh, it's 25 years, 47, 62 years. And we think that's a successful marriage because it's still intact. But we don't question what the quality of those years are.
I was just getting ready to say this.
Ooh, or what they've been through in those
Yes.
20, 30
Yes.
plus years.
'Cause it was funny during the powwow, we were even talking about that because,
Mhm.
John was like, oh, people, they congratulate you. And you say, oh, you've been together 24, 25, 30 something, 40 something years. And most people think, oh, wow, that is awesome. Congratulations. My first thought is, what hell did that woman go through? I hate to be like that. But the thing, or what hell did that guy go through? Because nobody
or
ever
what hell they
talks.
going through
That's
now.
that part, because nobody talks about the stuff behind the scenes. Think about it. Like, even when our parents were together, you know what I'm saying? It's like they never really argued in front of us. We don't even really have good conflict resolution skills. And you know what I'm saying? Like, as a community. So let's talk about that, because I know people who would, like, if they try to get in conflict, they're like, oh, or either you're gonna silent treatment somebody, or like it's just unhealthy. So how do you know how to be in a relationship, like an actual relationship with somebody? And I said this last week, and I'll say it again. My mother groomed me and taught me to be a wife, did not teach me to be a woman. And I needed to be a woman first. That's what I needed before I could actually be a wife.
I was reflecting. I wish I would have healed my traumas before saying I do. I wish I would have been healed or healing, taking proactive measures in my mental health before getting married. I was,
And why is just adding on to that? Why is that?
Because you just said it. We was arguing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know how to sit down and talk. Yeah. We were basically doing what we were taught. while watching or seeing our parents do growing up, you know. And
Facts.
my ex-husband, he has a taste for, you know,
Mm.
hey,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is, and that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I wasn't ready. I don't think I fully had an opportunity to really love myself
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
before getting into that relationship.
yeah. As Ivy was saying, marrying yourself, right? A lot of us
Yeah,
didn't. Yeah, a lot of us missed that
you
opportunity.
know,
We
I
committed to
have
somebody else first.
three great kids. I love them to death. Um, I always seen myself being more prepared,
Mm,
financially, because I didn't want to struggle. I
Yeah, I
knew what that looked like, and I didn't want that to be me. So I think I fought hard over the years in making sure that my children didn't grow up in the same type of environment, yet still doing some of the same things from the type of environment that I grew up in. Um, After a while, it just felt like we were going backwards and not forward.
mm,
mm.
I had
mm-hmm.
to get off the train.
Girl.
I, I don't get me wrong. Me and my ex husband are really good friends. You know, he just posed a question last week that was there ever a possibility of us getting back together? I told him I don't know. He was moving on with Candy. No, I'm just kidding.
I die a little bit
That was
every
my
time
petty.
the
That
live
was
on.
petty. Was I
Every
being
time.
petty?
I
You
So,
die a
know,
little
did
bit
y'all
every
know
time.
the value of marriage before you decided to participate in it?
who knew the value of marriage growing up in the hood with a mother who was somewhat of an OG and stepfather was a crackhead slash gangster?
Let me ask you this. What is the value of marriage?
There it is.
Ooh,
The
what is
only
it?
positive marriage that any of us seen back in the late 80s, I'm just telling my age,
Me too.
is the Huxtables. Come on now.
Come on, man. Come
Mm.
on. They changed the game when they came on.
Yeah.
Mm,
The streets went blank on Thursdays at 7
Facts.
o'clock.
Facts.
We were watching. That was our only positive image. We didn't have much, especially if you was growing up in the hood. You didn't have that. You didn't.
mm.
That was back when crack hit the scene. It destroyed a whole damn generation.
Man.
So, TV kind of gave us somewhat of a blueprint
Yeah,
for how like what the possibilities could be for a
the
family dynamic.
possibilities.
Mm.
Yeah,
Because the one that we were living in, the reality for our family dynamic was
yeah.
more dysfunctional.
Very
Right.
dysfunctional.
Mm,
But
Very dysfunctional.
but the thing is that within the dysfunction, there's still ways to like to strive. I, I don't want to romanticize dysfunction, but
Mhm.
there's still ways to thrive through dysfunctional surroundings. Let me put it that way. Like you said, growing up in the hood, having like having those economic struggles and everything else. There are ways to still understand and educate yourself about relationships. But the thing is that we weren't taught skills. We were all in
mm,
survival mode during that time,
yes.
during the crack epidemic. So
Yes.
it's like, so having
Yeah.
having relationships and having like, positive role models of black marriage, excuse me, just marriage in general, it was like few and far between. So I think that, and you have a generation of kids like this, our generation, you know, who are still trying to figure it
Figure it
out,
out.
still trying to figure it out because of all
Yeah.
of that stuff to go through. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Amanda?
No, I did not know the value of marriage. I do value my marriage, and I do hold marriage to a high regard. I just think as I'm going through the journey of marriage now, I learn to value everything a little bit more. I'm valuing everything a little bit more.
Mhm.
So
Your
Alright.
partner.
yes, yeah, in a
Yeah.
partner in a partnership and finding and still maintaining, like Ivy said, the independence of self and still loving each other through changes. It's a lot, yeah. Yeah, but I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You go, girl.
King,
Thank
I know you've been kind of quiet over there, so I'm gonna rephrase
Yeah,
the
he was
question for you.
last week was his show. Look, he trying to stay, he trying to fall back this week. Last week it was all about you, King Newborn. Maybe you was fire.
you.
All right. So my first question, and I want to, kind of make this more specific. I want to customize this.
Okay.
Do you intend on getting married someday?
Uh-oh.
King
You started
He
giggling.
laughing.
Not the
Well,
traditional way.
okay. Okay. All right. So it's there. It's one of those cards on the table.
Respectfully, yes.
Okay. Now, with that being considered, since it's an option and it's a prospect, and even though you may not be pursuing aggressively right now, do you know the value of marriage for yourself now?
Um, well, in my own words, this would be me being opinionated. Um, the value of marriage to me would be me um, bringing forth the highest version of myself um, to share a life with somebody. That would be the value of marriage for me. So, just like my sister Godla stated, if she would have took care of some of her traumas prior to, would have been healing or healed, um, I would assume she's saying that she still would be married to this day. So, with the understanding that we tend to get married before even knowing ourselves, I think by knowing yourself, your ins, your outs, your ups and downs, your deepest secrets that you hold yourself accountable, but yet you don't want to face. I feel like if you fix all of that and you bring forth again, like I said, the best version of yourself, I think that will be um, what I would consider marriage to be, make it to be great, to be honest. Or I would see the value of marriage for that, because who wants to better themselves just to better themselves for themselves and not be of service to the world? I mean, if you look at everything in life, its true cycle is to always be of service. And if you bring in forth the best version of you, you can't do nothing but bring the best version of whatever that is out of it. So, yeah, that'd be my opinion on that one, sir.
Okay. For myself, I did not know the true value of marriage before I decided to participate in it. I knew that it was a vehicle in which you could grow and develop with a partner that you really loved and cherished. But as far as like the function and the benefits that it truly brought, I didn't know. It was just more of this is the move that you make when you love someone and you want to officiate that relationship. So in a way, it was kind of shallow because it was, all right, I love her. And to show that I love her, I'm going to give her this title and I'm going to adorn myself with this title because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what a dignified person is supposed to do. So the value wasn't, at its fullness. It was more like, all right, we're going to put some respect on our names type of thing.
Okay.
Next question. Matter of fact, let's see, because there's so many.
Hold on, God level she had a question.
Yeah, I had a question for King Newborn. When you say not in the traditional sense, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, stop. I said your name right this time.
Yes, you did, God level. Well, through my research, from what I'm understanding, the westernized way of marriage is not um, the showing pony dance. So for me, it would be strictly between me and said woman sit down and we formulate our own quote unquote vows or terms of conditions in which we hold true intent to make sure we hold each other accountable and responsible for as far as the caretake of each other. One thing I find significant, if you were to ask somebody in today's time that is already married, um, would you be willing to wipe my ass if I couldn't do it myself? And some people may frown up at that. So that may make you want to question who you have as a life partner.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're really trying to be committed for life, and
Yeah.
this is supposed to be your life partner. Well, I'm not sure what tomorrow may bring. So even after today of quote unquote celebration, and then after tomorrow of the maintenance of quote unquote the commitment, the love, the finances. What if something happens to me and I can't wipe my own backside? What would you do then? So like I say, for me, traditionally, I wouldn't do it the westernized way. Um, for me, it would be let's sit down and if you can really answer that truthfully and wholeheartedly, and I can tell that you're very sincere within your answer. Then we will probably proceed to go forth and keep going back and forth to just like in business, iron out a deal and sign. For me,
Okay.
Different strokes for different folks.
Do y'all hear that?
well, let's look at it like this then. And peace to Miss Tanner. Like you say, different strokes for different folks. What's really taking place when you marry? Most people marry, quote unquote, out of commitment and love. Some marry out of financial support. But what's really taking place? Isn't it not an agreement between two people saying that, hey, your vows are nothing more than saying that I personally am responsible for your love, your happiness through good times and bad times, forever and for worse, right? I'm just saying, ain't that,
Well, for some people.
technically?
For
Oh,
some people,
okay.
and that's the reason why I was, like I was saying before, it's like what is the value that different
Mhm.
people put on marriage? Because for John sees it as this is a commitment. This is something that you shouldn't go into lightly because he's a very accountable person. I think that before when I got married for all the wrong reasons. So I think if I ever was to do it again, I would marry because I can giggle with that person. That person can be my best friend. That person is somebody who gets my goofy jokes. I get their goofy jokes. I can snort laugh around them and be comfortable. Like I can be my authentic self. I can
Can
be
you fart
seen
around
and
them?
heard. I can fart around them. Like I can fart in their
See,
ear. I can
man,
fart in
you
their
a
ear
real
and they'll
one.
be like, yeah, I mean,
We
for
need more
real.
like that out here.
No, that's dead serious. I mean, because that's real stuff. Some
Yeah,
people are
that's
like,
real.
oh,
Yeah.
flatulence. I'm not with it. But I'm just saying, like, if I could be my authentic self around somebody and that person feels that I'm safe enough, it's a safe space for me.
Yes.
My thing is that if I'm a woman and I'm taking care of my stuff financially, for me, if I'm taking care of my health, for me, if I'm taking care of my kids, for me, if I'm doing stuff that I already need to do as a woman, if I was to get married, that's saying that I'm already established as a woman, is who I am. I just want to kick it with you for the rest of our lives.
Okay.
So let's come together and you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's go ahead and blend everything. So
So
for
that's
me, it's
So
more
when
it's less
everything is
compatible.
not,
relationship.
so when everything is not to the likings of, oh, I can be my authentic self, and forbid something happens to you, then what? They leave, start over again with somebody else.
So here's the thing. I think that love I think that we're talking about like I think what you're asking is you're thinking about like love and commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, if I love somebody, that means that when you can't wipe your ass, I mean I gotta wipe it for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I love you. I love you. I love who you are. You, Really? Will all the hamsters pass gas? I can't with him. I cannot. I cannot. They
Uh,
might,
I
and
just
they
looked
might.
at that.
I
I
did too. And when you
didn't
looked at it, I
say.
looked at it. But yes, he did. I can't, brother Diamond. Yes,
Diamond, go
they all
pack.
will.
Go
I know,
pack,
right?
honey.
Go put
Go
something in the
pack.
bag. But no, seriously, like I think that honestly, like the the if somebody just chooses not to love me anymore, what can I really do about it? You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
I mean, love is not a guarantee that it's going to be there contractually for the rest of your lives. Love is love is supposed to be open and in my idea, it's supposed to be open and free flowing. So that way, it's like it comes easily for me. And if somebody decides that they're gonna leave me when my booty needs to be wiped, I gotta do what I gotta do because you
Mhm.
can not leave you can leave me or not leave me. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just like I can't
So
control.
then the only thing I would ask after the fact, what would be the point of getting married then? You just might as well have a partner that you can kick. I'm just going off of what I'm picking up from what you're saying, and
You are
just really
so
want
correct.
somebody that you can kick it with. Period.
You
That's
are
all.
so
Somebody can
correct.
just kick it with because I can self-sustain. So it wouldn't even make sense to be.
Unless you just say that you want to come together, you want to combine finances. Hey, maybe we want to file taxes together, and I get to make them giggle. I don't know, but for
Oh,
me,
so
I'm just
now we
saying like
talking about a financial benefit with friend?
I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying
No,
for
I'm I'm
everybody
I'm
else.
just asking. I'm just
No, no,
asking.
no. I get it. I,
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just saying for myself. If for me, it
Right.
would
Right.
just be
Right.
somebody who
Right.
I say, I want to make you giggle for the rest of your life, and you want to make me giggle, and nobody else. And we don't necessarily have to get married. It could just be a thing where we kick it for the long term.
I've
And
seen that.
Gotcha.
I'm taking care of a couple now who has been together for 30 years
ooh,
and they are not married.
Hmm.
They've been together for almost 30 years and they are not married.
and
Yeah.
in a lot of states they considered, what is it called, domestic, like if you combine your household, they
Oh,
consider you, what is it called, I'm sorry, I'm losing the
Common
term.
marriage is, I thought it was
Common law
common marriage.
marriages. Yeah,
Common law marriage.
they
Yeah.
consider that. So it's like
Mhm.
if you've been together for more than 10 years and you guys combined your household, it's just like you have to go to a court to get your stuff, separated
Mhm.
because they consider you common law married. So, I mean, actually, to tell you the truth, for some people, it might not necessarily work.
Yeah.
all right. Let's address this question right here, the burning question.
Mm.
For those of you who have been or are still married, why did you get married? One reason, several.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm
I
gonna
can
flip
read
this,
Amanda's comment.
Really?
please.
Multiple reasons for love, security, companionship, family legacy.
Yep. All those reasons.
Is somebody waiting on me to answer? Because I don't know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't answer. Why did I get married? I was already doing wifely duty, so we were just making it official.
Okay.
It was, yeah, I was already there.
Ivy.
Um, First time that we got married and didn't necessarily know what we were getting married for, except for it was like, oh, we love each other. Oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my God, she's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like the usual, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we can start a family and da 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 da. But we really didn't go that far into it. Second time we got married, I'm gonna keep it a buck. We got married to put our family back together, you know?
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
it is I had been through a lot and he had been through a lot, and just like uh honestly, like being reflective about it, like God level said earlier, I think we had that trauma bond that was there and it was still in place, and we thought that it had been broken. Oh, we've been through therapy, we've done, da 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 da, but that bond still was, it was still in place, until we did some real work, until everything started to break down. It was like we had to, yeah. But yeah, so that was the biggest reason. I think we wanted to put our family back together.
Mm.
For love. We both loved each other. We didn't want it to end. We were at a space where we were about to separate and just not be talking to each other anymore. And I think that hurt us both more than anything. And so yeah, made the proposal, she accepted, and yeah, we started building from there. It was love, and we had a lot of learning to do, but it was also a lot of it was a pretty messy situation that I was trying to just clean up. But I'm gonna read some of the reasons from our comment section. By the way, y'all, if you have not joined things that people don't want to talk about, the group, you should, so you can participate in some of this.
Yes.
Um, Princess said impatience mostly. I was irritated with dating and not getting results. Ooh. Kelly says, I've been married 25 years. No singular reason. We made, still make each other laugh and still have a genuinely good time with each other. He is my friend. It has not always been easy, but this friendship and love are worth the work. We have separate things, but mostly want to be together. Josephine says, I was happy, genuinely happy to be with the person I had prepared to marry. He was happy with me. We made each other laugh. I was excited to see him at the end of the day. We had some bumps in over the road the last 9+ years, of course, but we make it work. She wouldn't trade him in for any other. Steven said, because I was lied to about multiple things, then had a newborn child.
Ooh.
Okay, that's heavy.
Ooh.
Travis said, because I found someone I can't live without. Tasha said, I felt like it was the next step in life. I think most women are programmed by that certain age that we are supposed to get married and have kids. I felt like I found someone I could take that step with.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got some other responses, but yeah. So I think this is a very penetrating question, right? Especially if you go through a marriage and then you divorce. Uh Reflecting on that experience, pulling what you need from it for yourself. And a lot of the times post divorce, we focus on what we didn't get in the relationship. We focus on what was lacking. We focus on the damages. We don't ask ourselves, who was I when I was married? And I think that's the most valuable question because that tells you everything you need to know in terms of whether you were doing it right, because there is a function in marriage, right? There's several functions. There's a husband and there's a wife, and they perform functions in the relationship, especially as it relates to each other and the family around them.
That's right.
So the question is, what kind of husband were you? What kind of wife were you? And post divorce, did you look back and say, what could I have done better? After action
Mm.
review. Could I have done something better? What can I keep? What can I get rid of? What have my views of monogamy changed? You know, that's the point of this question. Asking why you got married. For some of you who are still married and you're still going, this could, reignite that spark if there's, a few depressions in your marriage. Hey, why did we get married? Go back to that,
Mhm.
initial
Asking
reason or
those,
those initial reasons,
asking
plural.
those penetrating questions. Yeah.
Right. And because that's your motivation. And
Yeah.
your motivation is what's driving this vehicle that we call marriage. Um, let's pose another question that was from the group. Well, I don't want to jump too far ahead because some of these. Well, let's start with this one. What were your beliefs about the nature of marriage before you started or before you got married? So, beliefs about marriage. What is it all about? What did you believe a man was supposed to do in the marriage? What did you believe was your responsibility? What were some of your beliefs?
I thought the man was supposed to take out the trash. Mom was
Mhm.
supposed to cook dinner. I was keeping a buck. That's for real. I
Yeah.
really did. That was it. I didn't look at anything past that. Like for real. Daddy got the big piece of chicken. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? For real. Like that's
Okay.
Yeah, my nature, I would say, has always been that it is a vow till death do us part, for better or for worse. I did believe that, and that, I look at the marriages around me as, you know, and as I examine those marriages, I know for better or for worse, and you got to make it through the hard times and sacrifice. So that's what I believe is the nature a marriage before I got married.
God level.
What's the question? Because I was reading some of these comments. Mr. Israel, get off. Stop.
He can't.
He can't help himself. Have y'all seen
can't.
some of this stuff?
Because
People
Yeah.
read fortune cookies nowadays to get married.
So, did you have any beliefs about the nature of marriage before you got married?
Yeah, that he was supposed to do more work than me.
Okay.
Ooh.
Uh,
Ooh.
That didn't happen for him until after we separated.
okay.
Yeah.
Oof. So, you know what? As I'm looking down here, one of my beliefs is cited by Mike, that love is enough. That one was mine. I had this, again, this hopeful belief that as long as you loved each other, that was what's going to keep you through marriage, as long as you loved each other. But it's a very loaded question about love, right? Because there's even ideas about love. Like, we don't all love the same. We don't all have the same experiences and understanding of love. So I had this very, I wouldn't say it was toxic, but it was a very extreme love. It was extreme attachment. So I was very attached to her. And a lot of who I was centered around making her happy, making her smile. Uh, but it was just my belief that, hey, we could be broke and poor. As long as I love this woman and she's right here, that's all we needed. It never got to that point, right? But I didn't think love for self was a factor. It was just love your spouse and everything will always work out. So that was like a big belief. And that one, ooh, when that divorce happened, that killed a lot. It killed a lot of ego too, but it killed a lot. And it shattered me for a while. Having those beliefs, just kind of challenged in such a way, and then you have to replace that or re-strategize. Like, dang, okay, I was loving the wrong way. Oh snap! Or I was loving incompletely, incoherently, right?
Wow.
So that love is enough. I like his comment. Let me expound on that. He said, "Love is the foundation, but if you expect to build a life, especially one that branches off into other generations and levels of achievement, then the sheer amount of work you have to constantly put in is something I greatly underestimated." The work.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
but I also greatly underestimated the amount of personal growth and family growth that level of commitment and work ethic can produce. It's worth it, but you have to work at it. You can't complain about the lack of results from the lack of effort you refuse to put in. Love isn't enough, but it's a phenomenal start.
Wow.
Who was that? Who was that?
That was Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Watkins.
I know, right?
Go, Mike.
Ivy commented. She said, marriage seemed like a power vacuum for women. I didn't know if I'd wanted it or not. It didn't seem based off of love. Just one person giving away their selves for the concept of marriage. What did I know though? Saul said, marriage to me has always been a divine commitment between two people of opposite sex, usually with the intention to procreate and build a family, and through a very intimate connection, help each other resolve life's troubles and improve their quality of life, health, and safety for each other. I would not claim that marriage be limited to how I see it, but this is the deepest meaning of it for me, and not the process, tradition, governmental paperwork, or any superficial attachment some have made it out to be.
Okay.
I think, yeah, these beliefs are very important because they shape your expectations of yourself and of the marriage. And if you don't take an inventory of your beliefs before you go into it, it's just like anything else in life. Your faith is going to lead to certain actions. Those actions are going to create your reality, right? So if you go in with a very false belief and it gets challenged, yeah, you're not going to maneuver correctly, and yeah, you may ultimately fail. But if you're an avid learner, you understand that beliefs are just that, they are thoughts, and you acting on those beliefs, you acting on those thoughts, you're merely just testing them in this vehicle called marriage. You're seeing if they're valid and if they can stand. And if they don't, then you're like, all right, I believed this. Now I have to correct that. But then you got some folks in marriages that hold these beliefs and they do not waver. They're stubborn.
That
And they
part.
will keep holding on to those beliefs, trying to confirmation bias. I'm going to hold on to this belief and I'm going to force you to confirm my belief. And that can cause some dysfunction in marriages too.
You know, that's another thing. Like, I just think that if you get married, right? Like, if you've got to beg somebody to change, or if you've got to cajole somebody to change, is it really worth being in? Isn't that shouldn't you just enjoy that person for who they are? Kind of, sort of. I mean, I understand if you want to make, if you're trying to be like, oh, well, this will make us better, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, if you get a fully fleshed human being, I kind of just, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking at
Well,
I'm not looking at it right.
So there is a variable here that, oh, go ahead, God level.
Do you want to get married again?
For me?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't even answer that question. Like, I don't know. I'm serious. Like, I don't know, like, the actual walk down the aisle. I did go to a wedding today, right? I went to Melissa and David. If you guys are watching, hey, congratulations. It was the best wedding I have ever been to. It took 3 minutes. It took 3 minutes. I'm not kidding. From the time she walked down the aisle to the time she got to the what's name, Batman presided. Okay, Batman was the preacher. And their vows were like, do you vow to be my husband, to love me and my cats and my toes a little crooked? Like, it was great. Like, it was real stuff to me. Like, you could just tell they were just like, we just really love each other. And my friend had just, my friend who got married, she was in a coma that could have ended her life like 5 months ago, right? And when she came out of here, it was just like, nah, we love each other. We're already together. We just want to do this. It was the best, just the best, because you actually saw that they were two people who loved each other. They didn't care about the pomp, no circumstance, no none of that. No, they just wanted to be married. And I was like, that is wow. Yeah. Oh, is that a question?
Very important. What? Very important. 50% of all divorces are happening because of finances. It's very important.
Oh, yeah.
It is very. No woman wants to feel like she's pulling all the weight in a relationship. I'm so sorry.
Financially.
Well, financially.
Yeah.
Financially. I do not want to come home and see my husband in the same position I left him in at 7 o'clock in the morning and it's 11 o'clock at night. That's a problem. Where's my dinner? Washing clothes. Is the kids taken care of? Is the dishes done? Is the trash taken out?
Girl.
And I've been gone for 16 hours.
That's right.
All right. So I want to reframe this question for King Newborn.
Go right ahead.
Presuming that you have, yes, yeah, because you've been quiet over there. You've been quiet.
Real quiet.
Last week, I know, hey, it's cool to listen because I have some of those days too. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is financial health of your spouse in your decision to marry? How important is it for you?
It would have to be a 10.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
And the reason why I say a 10, once again, if you remember my first statement, the value of a marriage would be me valuing me at my highest form of self, which means learning self. So if they have to be a 10, I would have to be a 10 as well. I mean, that's just how I look at it, because you're giving the best part of you to somebody else. You're not trying to give just saying to me, you're not trying to give your baggage to somebody else. Again, I'm trying to put myself in a position to be of service. I'm not trying to put myself in the position to make you work harder than you would with somebody that it will just flow. And nine times out of 10, ain't nobody sitting down really trying to go over their secrets Ain't nobody trying to go over the fact where they weak at, where they rusty at, where they just flat out lazy at. So again, it just take me back. I'm not doing the traditional way of getting married. If I do it, it's because we have ironed out all the intricate. I'm sorry, I can't even say the word right now.
Intricacies.
Intricate, yeah, intricate details of who you are, who I am. What can I add to you to make you better, or what can you add to me to make me better? How much work how much work are we really ready to put in? I mean, it's cool to fly around the world and take pictures and post them on social media, and I mean that's cute and all, but have you really looked at the world?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like to really attack things in this world nowadays, through from a economic standpoint, it's gonna take two or more, and it really does take a
Mhm.
community. You got to be like-minded, so it don't just start in the home front. It's what's your outer workings as well as your inner workings. So, I mean, I don't know. I just think differently now. I've been through a lot, so
Okay.
I
I
like that
understand.
outer
I just
workings as well as your inner.
I just want to ask, so are you saying that for you that marriage doesn't make space for other people's baggage? I mean, because I'm just, and the reason why I'm saying
see,
that, not necessarily baggage, I'm saying like everybody has their own stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's got their idiosyncrasies. Everybody's got their stuff that they had to work through and they had to flesh
Their
out.
liabilities,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody has their demons that they had to work on, right?
That's right.
And for me, I've been learning that when you're able to be vulnerable about them, that is a source of strength. And for me, I would want somebody who's able to be vulnerable about theirs also, because then that means that there is nothing that is hidden, there's no shame, there's no grief, there's no guilt. That means that there is nothing, there's no ego that's in the place of you two being two authentic individuals. That's for me. But I'm asking, I guess you're saying you're like, nah, I'm trying to come together, we're trying to build, we're trying to make this compound, we're trying to do X, Y, and Z. So I guess I'm
I would
at,
have to interject and say, Miss Tanner, we're saying the same thing if you really pay attention to what I'm saying.
are we on
So
the same page, King Newborn?
yeah, we flat out saying the same thing. You just said it a little bit more your way. That's all you just did. You just said it in
Okay,
your language. We
okay.
saying the same thing. So to come to the table, and I'm gonna say it again, for whatever it is that you got going on, don't let your baggage be your baggage, but yet you're not even dealing with it.
Right.
Like I
My
said,
God.
you're bringing the best version of you. So even the best version of you might be at this particular point, I'm working on myself. Oh, okay, you
Mhm.
working on yourself. That's cool. How is that working out? What's the process to doing that? Okay, how
Yeah.
can I aid and assist? Once again, if I'm bringing the best version of me, that means that I am being of service. I'm being of service.
Oh,
That's key, period. I'm being of service. So I don't just say I'm being of service to be saying I'm being of service. I'm of service to myself first and foremost in order to be a service to the outer
That's
workings of King Newborn. So for me to get married, yeah, I'm gonna look at you and okay, you got 10 bags. Okay, how we lighten this load? Oh, you've been practicing on that last bag? That's the toughest one. How can I aid and assist you with that last bag? And you run that down to me. Okay, let's hop to
And
it
he said
because
aid. He said
yes.
okay.
aid. He didn't say I'm gonna do it for
Yes.
you. He
Yeah,
said aid.
right.
Right.
yeah,
Aid
I'm
and
an aid and
assist.
assist. No, I can't do the work for you.
That's
No,
right.
no, no. Because that
No.
those particular things that Miss Tanner, that you are pointing out are the things that will keep a relationship from moving forward. Because we got to keep backtrack. I don't want to backtrack. You know what I'm saying? If you already been doing the work, I should be an addition to what's
Let's
going
push you
on.
forward.
Like
Let's
I just want to throw this out here. The top 5 reasons for divorce in America. Number 5 is financial problems. Number 4
mm,
is marrying too young. Number 3 is arguments and conflict. 2 is infidelity, and number 1 is not being committed. So if we ain't even taking care of these particular things amongst ourselves, like even with the young thing, when you young, you ain't really focused on no real task at hand. You're just trying to have fun and experience. That's all you're trying to do.
mm, okay.
So
It's
again, back to my initial statement, and it is
okay.
no disrespect to the panel or anybody else. I'm just saying my initial statement is I just want to bring the best version of King Newborn I can be, so I can aid and assist what this is as a merger taking place. It's a verbal contract. It's a four-corner contract. It's still business. We trying to handle business right here. So we can't endure those days like you said, hey, you cool with me passing gas in the house? Babe, do you? Because it ain't nobody else that I want to put up when it comes with that. You know what I'm saying? So I accept you for that and then some. But yet we are working on things together to keep moving forward. So
I just
I don't know.
want to
I
point
hope
out. I just want to point out everything that you said ties back to what Israel said last week. That blew my mind when he said the way to get a best out of a woman is to have her fall in love with herself first, and
Yes.
then fall in love with you
Fall in love
second.
with you
And
next, yeah.
I think that works for every relationship. For me myself, I wake up in the morning like, how can I get my kids to fall more in love with themselves?
Mhm.
So it sounds like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it sounds like, how can I get the best out of the people who I encounter and who I meet? And I think that's what you're saying. And I get it. And it was no disrespect. I just like to ask questions, bruh. You know what I mean? I like to throw some shit in the pan and see if it's going to stir.
Okay. So
I'm gonna stir
panel.
with you, and I'm still gonna say I love you and I appreciate you. So I would never take it as a shot or anything like that. I like to build. It's all love.
Facts.
All right. Starting with Amanda on a scale of 1 to 10, how important was past tense was financial health for your spouse in your decision to marry?
I would say about a 5, even though it is
Why a
important.
5?
I would say that although it was important, I wholeheartedly agree with my brother who said that we still are in the process of working things out. So as long as that he was working things out, I'm working things out and working on it, but it was not the deciding factor at the same time.
God level?
I've already answered that question. I did. I've already answered it. It's important. It was very important. When our business went bad, we went bad. That was the one thing that we were able to do. We were able to handle some business. We were able to sit down, and I remember this, and smoke a joint and come up with a whole financial plan.
Nice.
Literally on how to save $1,000 a month, and we attacked that shit.
All right.
When our business was good, we was great. It wasn't nothing that we couldn't. We driving off with 2002 Yukon XLs. It was baby. We was handling business. It was after we moved into the house, he kind of fell flat. I didn't want that load. I didn't.
Ivy?
It's very important.
So when we first got married, we were both like PFCs in the Army. Did not think about finances at all. 0, right? Second time came together. Like I said, we were trying to put our family back together. So it was important. And it was important, but me being the person that I was, I didn't stress that enough. But it was really important. I thought that based off of the fact that I was good, that we were going to be collectively good together, and thinking, oh, he's older, he's got more rank now, things should be good, not knowing that things weren't necessarily where they needed to be when we first got back together. And I took it upon myself to make it a 10. You see what I'm saying? Almost like you said, like when you first got married, you was like, "Hey, I love you, girl. What if as long as I love you, I got you. So we're gonna make this work, right?" That was my same thing. Oh, I got you. We're gonna make it work, not knowing that it was actually important to me because I didn't still know myself completely. That's the answer. Yeah.
Mine was at a 3. So prior to me being in the military, it was a long distance relationship. She lived in Texas. I lived here in Georgia. I was working at Hardee's. And I would save my money just to go see her, taking the bus over there 3 days. Shout outs to mom, because man, what mom lets their kid just get on the bus and go like force. Yeah, man. She trusted me that much. Like, okay, yeah, my baby's responsible. But I joined the military. And you think you're making some money, but
Pepsi and
you know what I'm
toothpaste
saying?
ain't
You think
nothing.
you making so at the time I thought I could just, and I could. I wanted to fulfill that role. I had that idea of a man creating that environment where she doesn't have to work. I didn't have the full scope though. It was just, all right, hey, you don't have to work, you don't have to work. So it was a 3 for me. I wasn't concerned about her financial intelligence, her financial health. Um, we were young. We got that apartment, and I'll say at some point it became an issue because I would go to work, come home, it's like 5, 6, and she's just been waiting for me all day, and she got disgruntled with that. So it was like, hey, I gotta work, but you don't have to work, you don't have to work, and we got in an argument over that, and I had to let that. So yeah, um,
Oh wow.
I had to learn that. All right, you know what? It's okay. She wants a sense of purpose in life, and she wants to make her own money, and actually having 2 incomes, and you know the rest. So I'm not gonna we got 3 respondents to that question in the group. Mike didn't really give a number, but he said it was a huge issue, and it's one that won't be resolved without a plan. um Kelly said it was a 1 for her. It wasn't even a blip on my radar. We were both military, so money wasn't really the first thing on our minds. And Tasha says it was a 1 for me. That being said, it's probably because we both had no debt and we were both in a very good place financially coming into our marriage. I think this consideration is very, very important because, yeah, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Love is not enough, not in the sense of being pragmatic. It's not enough, right? You do have to have a plan. You marry somebody and you realize they're bad with money. I mean, where's the love then when you're the saver and they're the spender and you guys aren't compatible financially? They like to go out every weekend, or they're on Amazon all the time and they're buying, and you're saving, you're acquiring the money. And it could be set up that way. But, if you guys are trying to construct this future together and your goal is, hey, we want to go to Africa or we want to go to Thailand for a vacation, but you keep eating out, you're not trying to say, your financial intelligence, your financial health is going to contribute to the lifestyle that you're cultivating together. So even having that discussion prior, and I know it's an uncomfortable one, right? But we're kind of already having that discussion now in this generation with the social media. It's the first thing, one of the first things that everybody puts out there. That's one of the, you don't even really put your character out there. It's all about, what can I sell to you? I want to sell my lifestyle to you.
Mm,
So let me
mm.
demonstrate that I'm financially healthy. I get some money. I'm getting the bag. Okay. But what are you doing with the bag? How are you breaking it down? Are you investing? Are you saving? Do
Right.
you budget?
Right.
Just basic skills, very basic
Mhm.
financial skills. Oh, how much debt do you have? Oh, you got college and you got this car loan and yada, yada, yada. Okay. As King Newborn was alluding to, what are you doing about it? How are you managing that? Right. That's all going to contribute to the stress. And then again, where's all that love when you're stressed, stress, 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 stress? It's hard to love when you stress.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Let's talk about cultural norms. What role did cultural norms and religious beliefs play in your decision to marry?
Lord Jesus, do we have enough time? I don't even think we have enough time.
Mm,
I mean, I grew up in the church. Grew up in the church.
Ooh.
You know, and so I'm not even going. I'm very transparent. I didn't even know when we were young that I didn't even know that he was going to propose to me, right? I had just came off a deployment. We had been away for some time, and my mother called. Oh my gosh, my mother, God bless her. She's not with us anymore, but she called me and she says, "Abby, whatever he tells you, he's gonna ask you something. You just say yes." And I'm like, "Huh?" Yeah, she was horrible. She ruined everything. I love you, mama. I love you. But she was you know what I'm saying? She was just like, because she was so happy. And
oh,
I didn't even expect it. But afterwards, it's like, so you knew that he was going to ask me to marry.
Mhm.
And she was like, yes, of course I did, baby, because this is what we've been, this is what we been working our entire lives for. Okay, we've been working towards that. And because of the fact that I was just like, well, this is the natural order of things. I'm supposed to get married, you
Mm.
know. I mean, that's what I saw. I saw it growing up. It wasn't necessarily healthy, but if you are a Christian, you're supposed, especially a Christian woman, you're supposed to be married, right? So it played a huge,
Mm.
huge, huge role in why I got married because I felt I was just supposed to be. Yeah.
All right, Amanda.
I agree. The cultural norms. My mom and dad both married, not to each other, but long-term marriages. My older sister, younger sister have been married, so we've kind of been conditioned to just, get a man, you settle down. When you be ready. So I still believe I did it in my own way when I was ready, but it was also, I believe, put upon me by the norms of what my sister expectations, my mother's expectations, my grandmother's both married. Um, and as far as religion, definitely, we were married in the church. We were going to get married at the courthouse. We did get married in the church. We did. It was very small how I wanted it. But yeah, well, how we wanted it. But yes, that's how I believe that culture and religious beliefs played into our decision to marry.
God level.
None of that.
Oh
None.
wow.
Okay. Fair enough.
None. The religious beliefs, no.
Mm. Fair. Fair.
Cultural
I
norms. We were first of the children on his side and my side
Oh
to get married.
wow.
But there were no cultural norms or religious beliefs played a part in it. We did. I walked down the aisle to Spody Odie Dupalicious by Outkast with no words.
My
Oh,
Cody
okay.
Doty.
No
Okay.
words, no words, just the instrumental, baby. Damn, 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 damn.
I love Cody Odie, Dopalicious Angel.
No one
Okay,
gave me
just real
away.
quick. Can you just expound on it? Why that? What was what was?
It was the horns.
Oh, okay.
You,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, I can see that working.
Walked
You
down
know what? I can't even front. Yeah.
the
Yes.
bottom,
Yeah. You
The
just.
and we
celebration.
walked up together. Yeah, it was a celebration.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
All right. So
wedding
it was the
was.
horns.
That's a bop. That was a bop.
That's
Okay.
it.
Oh
Do I
man.
need to
Oh my
play it
God.
for you?
Girl,
I gotta go.
my all I can remember
I
is the
gotta
first
go
my
find.
Spody Odie, Dopalicious Angel.
For me, it was it was very, very minuscule. I wasn't thinking about
Hold
God. I was
on.
not thinking.
Hold on, wait for the horns. And that's when I started walking down the steps when the horns hit.
Somebody is shazamming this right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Creation Divine. That was the song I walked down the aisle to. I've been listening.
Oh my
It was the
God.
horns sold us. We was like, we're gonna do this our way, and we did. It was still
Okay.
very classy. It was a 10K wedding. Do not get me wrong. My cake was sky high. Dress, everything was just beautiful. It was a one-stop shop. We got married and had the reception all at the same place. The food was excellent. It was an open bar. So yeah, everybody was drunk, feeling good, and then my friend sent us to Orlando for our honeymoon.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So Creation Divine, I see that you commented on this question. So tell us, what role did cultural norms and religious beliefs play in your decision to marry?
Oh my God.
I have been waiting on this answer.
Oh my God. Like, I didn't want to get married. I've never had a desire to get married. As a child, as a young girl, the dream of marriage and family, and, that was just never, who I was. So when I did get married, my family thinks that I was bewitched. And in a sense, I was, because with religion, my experience with religion, I feel, like I was brainwashed. You know,
Wow.
that's what religion did to me. I share sometimes with my kids some of the things that I experienced. In Essence, Essence is very verbal. She's like, Mom, you didn't have your own mind? No, not at all. I did not have my own mind, because I was programmed to believe and to think a certain way. Born into Christianity from a Pentecostal, holiness perspective. The organization that I was a part of was Church of God in Christ. So,
Ooh.
you know,
Sorry.
brainwashing, programming. So everything, for the most part, every move that I made was based off of my religious belief and the culture that I grew up in. And when I didn't make the moves according to that, then I felt like I was, just God was going to get me, the devil was going to get me. I was just doomed from
Fear.
both directions. So yes, it played a major role. I didn't marry out of love. It was kind of like we had gotten a couple prophecies from people about, us coming together to do the will of God and to build the kingdom of God, and just kind of moved off of that. And so it my reasoning for marriage, all of that had to do with, my programming.
Wow.
Yeah.
King
Wow.
Newborn, I want to rephrase the question for you. Does cultural norms and any religious beliefs you may hold, spiritual beliefs included, play a role in your decision to marry?
No.
Understood.
I just said that. I said it before you said it. As soon as you asked him, I thought to myself, "You're no, not a single no, no."
All right. In our chat, Princess says marriage was represented heavily in the churches I grew up in. Of course, we needed to wait to have sex, wait for marriage, and if we did have premarital sex, that meant we were sinners and needed to repent or burn in hell. Adam says none. Kelly says a lot. I am a Southerner who was raised by an extremely independent woman. My partner needed to be able to deliver a cow, fix the tractor, and not be intimidated that I could do the same. Like Princess was saying, there was also heavy burdens placed upon me as a female from what is considered the right way to do things based on Southern Baptist culture. Ooh, yeah, that's yeah. There's a lot of validity to that. Hosea says, as a non-believer of religion, or as a non-believer, religion has still shaped my worldview and the way I see what is proper. Yeah, so those are the comments for that one. All right, so let's switch to friends and family. What role did family and friends play in your decision to get married?
Y'all already heard mine.
It's hurtful to even say this. I only had 3 people there for me on my side of the family. My mother did not show up. She knew, everyone knew. I originally wanted my sisters to be my bridesmaids. Everybody knew well in advance that I was getting married, and I knew she wasn't coming when she called me and she asked me to allow my stepfather to walk me down the aisle. and I refused.
Mm.
I did not want. I'm not trying to be funny. That man to me back in that time was like, it's like the devil. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I said no one's walking me down the aisle. Now, if I was to get married today, of course, my brother would damn sure do the honors, you know. But I did not want him walking me down. I did not know, and she never came. So I just had my cousin Tynika, Moni, and Barry. The friends that I went to school with for nursing school ended up being my bridesmaids, and we still talk to this day. And of course, his family was there, and I still talk to some of them. And his mother also did not come. So neither one of our mothers came. So yeah, we still had a damn good time.
Okay. Amanda, did family and friends have a role in your decision to get married?
No. It was definitely a decision me and my husband had made. Hence, we didn't even tell anybody pretty much until a couple days before. We just decided we were going to get married. That's what we wanted to do. And that's what we're going to do. At a point in time, we were just going to do it at the courthouse. Even the kids weren't going to be there. But we decided last minute that the kids would be there. My dad was there, his mom, my sister, and one of my closest friends. And our kids, that was it. And I think we doing good. I love it. We just decided this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get married, and as soon as we got married, it's back to family, back to business. We had our dinner at Olive Garden. My son had an interview, so we got married and got right back to business. So
I heard that.
in a lot of ways, I could be like, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Ivy.
Yeah, well, I already talked to y'all about Wilma. My mother, God rest her soul. Whatever he asks you, say yes.
Say yes.
Just say yes.
Say yes.
It's what we've been working on our whole lives. And like I said, I didn't know, bro. I had no clue. I had no clue. Like, no clue. So, nah. There was
Creation
everything.
Divine.
Yeah.
Did family and friends play a role in your decision to get married?
No.
I think you're on mute. Are you on mute?
Oh, she is. Yeah,
Okay.
she's on mute.
You wouldn't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Outside of, no.
Okay.
No.
All right, King Newborn. I'm gonna rephrase the question for you. Yeah, man. You're just over there being quiet, man. You're being quiet. You're usually a little bit more.
There is no what role do
like-
family and friends? You can answer that yourself. Play in his decision to get married? None. Absolutely zero. When he makes that decision, it'll be based on his assessment of the situation. It ain't gonna have anything to do with anybody else.
He would say that too. He would say that. All right, we going. All right,
I ain't even know him
and
for long, but
I'm going.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pose this question into. There's quite a few of them that I didn't pose in the group, but family and friends did not play a role at all. It was independent thought. All right. What's one thing you wish you would have learned about marriage before you said I do? Just one thing.
Self-love. Self-love. I wish I was in love with myself before I got married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that before anyone gets married. Make sure you are in love with yourself. I'm so serious.
It's very, very sure about who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, really sure.
Yes.
Like,
Heal your traumas.
oh yeah, that's
Don't
definitely.
get into that relationship and then get triggered by everything that person does, and now you're looking crazy.
I wish I would. You know something? I wish that I would have known that not all marriage is not supposed to be rosy. It's not supposed to be
You
rosy
think
all the
that
time.
is, but it's not.
Yeah, but kind of like, okay, and this is where I'm gonna give you your props, whether King Newborn, but he was like, it's a contract, man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this is kind of like, it is kind of a coming together,
Yes.
kind of, so kind of it's not always supposed to be rosy. However, I think that, like, if you enjoy a person, it can be, but it's not
Mhm.
always going to be, because life as a human being, in general, the life experience has lots of different emotions. So it's not always just going to be happy,
Right.
you know? Like, yeah, the human condition is not always happy. So I wish I would have known that. That would have been major to know.
Okay. Amanda?
I would say that marriage is work. I did not realize how much work we would have to put in, but as we change, as we grow and learn each other over and over, we have to put the work in. Marriage is work, and it's not for the weak. It's not
Say that.
easy as it's work.
Creation.
What's the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, what's
One-
one
What's
thing you
one
wish you
thing
would
you
have
wish you
learned
yeah.
about marriage before you said I do?
I agree with God love, self love. Just
Self-love.
learn to love myself
Yourself. That's it.
and learn
Yeah.
not to do it. Not to do it.
I'm about to spend the rest of my life loving me. Like,
Yes.
I'm so serious. I'm not look. I hate to say it, but I'm not looking forward to getting married. No, I just want to spend the rest
Ditto.
of my life loving me. I
Ditto.
sleep.
Ditto.
I can tell you, I sleep so good at night.
You know, it's interesting. We're all like on the same accord as that. Because,
Yeah.
in the comments, it said that love yourself first and always should be your first commitment and commandment. And with that, you will respect your spouse's decision to do the same. I think that's very key. Of course,
Yeah.
when you're young, you don't quite know that. It's
And
usually outward,
and then
right?
you, depending on how you
Yeah.
grew up, you might not have been taught
Oh yeah,
to love yourself.
definitely.
You grew
Yeah.
up in a house of survival. That's all you're doing is trying to survive.
Girl, everybody's in survival mode.
Yes.
You can't marry somebody in survival mode. Y'all
I grew
just
up-
trying to eat.
Mhm.
I grew up around so much drama. I'm always expecting it because I grew up
Oh,
around so much drama. Like every day, my adrenaline was going because I was like, "What's getting ready to happen today? What's
oh
getting ready to
my
happen now?"
gosh.
I'm serious. One day I'm gonna tell this story and this story only. We got off the school bus and we was on our way home, and we lived on Greer. This is St. Louis, Missouri, North Side. And I'm looking down the street and I'm like, look at all the nice cars. I said, we must have family in town. I get up to the door. It was a 4-family flat. They had the glass door. The glass door was gone. It was broken into, and you can look directly down the hall. My mother's in the back. She is doing her hair before going to jail. The DEA was standing right there. She was like, go to the corner. It was always drama.
Wow.
And then when I got back home, everyone that went to jail was sitting in the living room laughing it up. It
Ooh.
was always some drama.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you if you're still in survival mode, this is
Yes.
you are incapable of having the skills.
Mm.
You think so? I'm fucked
I
up.
mean, I'm not that's
This is a
not
fucked up life. Did you
that's
see-
not a judgment of anything, sis. Like, not
Okay.
even playing. No, seriously. I'm just thinking I think of Maslow's hierarchy, the triangle. If you take
Yeah,
psychology,
hierarchy of
right?
needs.
That rebel.
Right. The
The rebel.
bottom, the base that you need, you need a
Mhm.
place to feel safe. If you grew up
Yeah.
like in your formative years and you don't
Yeah.
feel safe,
Yeah.
there is no way that you can learn how to love anything, because your entire life is always living in survival.
Safety. That's
Yeah,
I'm
you're
glad
always
you brought that up. Mhm.
yes. So love doesn't feel safe. Love does not feel safe when you grow up in survival mode. And a lot of us with our traumas, love does not feel like actual
Did
genuine
we just
love does
unlock
not
a new
feel safe.
level of some shit I need to heal?
Girl,
Did we just unlock a new level of some shit I need to heal?
Yes, it's always levels
Oh
to
my
healing.
God.
Mhm.
I think. Well, listen, we can
Um,
start talking about that. I think healing is cyclical. I think it.
Yeah.
I think it
We're
just
gonna have to
continues to
talk
go.
later. Let John keep going.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm gonna shut up.
yeah, I just want to pose a couple more questions because I know we're getting close to our time.
8:25.
So,
Yeah.
again, this whole topic, audience members, is not so much about getting married, but what are your considerations? What are the variables? What are the factors that you have to consider when choosing to commit to another human being? And this decision is going to perpetuate itself across all age groups. You're going to be at different, ideally, you're going to be at different places in each stage of your life, right? So the way that you're thinking at 29 hopefully isn't the same way that you were thinking at 21. The way that you're thinking at 42 is hopefully not the same way you were thinking at 30, 31, right? So making this decision at each age bracket, it's going to require a different level of thinking, but ultimately it's questions like, what is a successful marriage to me? What are my relationship goals? You have to decide all of that prior, right? And for a lot of us, we might love the idea of marriage, but actually preparing for it is a separate matter. Having a blueprint of marriage and then saying, okay, let me develop a plan in which I can acquire skills, resources to fulfill this blueprint. Because this blueprint is not going to be built only by me. It's a collaborative effort. This is our vehicle, and we got to build the vehicle according to our design. So we got to agree on the design. And then once we create the design, we rolling. We got to set a destination because, yeah, you could be in a marriage and you ain't going nowhere.
Mm.
You ain't got no vision. You ain't got no goals. You got fuel. You just sitting, parking lot pimping, right? So you're in this vehicle called marriage and you don't even know where you're going, but you got a nice whip. And both somebody's in the passenger, someone's in the right, but you ain't going nowhere. So all of these ingredients are necessary, right? How far are you guys gonna go? And I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, but we have insurance for everything, but we don't have marital insurance. John, we got a prenup. Prenups protect your assets. There's a difference.
Mhm.
Prenups do not repair your marriage. They do not repair your marriage. They protect your assets from the marriage. That's different. You have life insurance. You have car insurance. You have homeowners insurance. You have insurance for your job, but you don't have insurance for marriage. We don't have that. What does it
There's
look like?
there's no Aflac
Why are
for
we
that.
so prepared to protect the assets but not protect the marriage? What does it look like to protect the marriage? Right? I'm jumping ahead, but I wanted to throw that out there. Like, I was just thinking about this. That's why I say, all right, these analogies that we use regarding marriage, if it's a vehicle, because friends with benefits is a vehicle, friendship is a vehicle, right? We got all these relationship vehicles, and how you operate them are going to depend on the model. You got to create that, right? But even still, when the tire breaks off of your marriage, when the windows are shattered, who's repairing? How do you repair it? Does anybody have talent to repair a marriage?
Whew.
Because it breaks down sometimes. You got all these miles. Oh yeah, our model of marriage has 150,000 miles on it. Okay, that's y'all been going places. But then you look at the condition and you're like, dang, I don't know if y'all gonna make it though. Dang, y'all got 2 tires, like, woo, and then you got 2 flats in the back. Oh gosh, I don't know what kind of engine is that. Dang, y'all ain't upgrade or nothing.
No
Woo,
rear view
y'all ain't gonna
mirror.
remodel, right? So, hold on. I was gonna go and dang, there's just so much. Um, hold on. Oh wait, who's this user right here? The legal and formally recognized union of 2 people as partners in a
That sounds
personal
like my brother would
relationship.
post something like that. I'm sorry, King.
I posted it. Creation.
Oh, creation divine.
Okay. All right. So,
Because
yeah. So,
it's
go ahead.
Damn it.
kind of like still, our concept, well, for me, the concept of marriage, that's the definition of marriage, according to, American standard dictionaries.
Yeah.
But our concept and our ideas of marriage, most times are developed by what we see,
Mm.
what we're around. And I'm like, that for me, if I were to do it again, it would definitely just be about, living life with another individual, being who I am, them being who they are, without any of the stigmas and the stuff that we're exposed to, and creating our own definition, of it. I don't know. It's kind of like I'm ready to just do away with all the preconceived ideas and
No
Yeah.
titles, no doctors,
all that
nothing.
stuff, and just
Yeah.
live life. One reason I stayed in that situation as long as I did is because of hearing, it's work and it's hard. And I stayed in it, and it almost literally killed me mentally, emotionally, physically,
Yeah.
because, it's work and it's hard and it's not easy and you have to work at it. And it was toxic, it was dysfunctional. It was not healthy for me as an individual. It wasn't healthy for our children. It was horrible. But I stayed there because, the religious beliefs and ideas, and and yeah, really want to do away with all that. And just, I'm like, why can't two people come together? You be you, they're who they are, you know, and just live life and enjoy, and not try to control the other or change the other,
Control
or
part is hard for most folks.
Mhm.
That
even when
part.
it comes to expectations.
Mm.
Oof.
I don't know.
Managing,
I'm just, I don't know.
managing
Yeah.
expectations, girl.
Can,
All right,
can we
panel.
go
I
back
really
to
have two more questions I want to ask after this one. So just
I want
what y'all
Corey.
got in terms of what are some
Corey
factors?
Dunn. Corey
I said
Dunn
the
just made a
teamwork.
post.
Oh, Corey Dunn. Okay.
He just made a post. I'm sorry, I've been waiting on this.
Mhm.
What was the post? Put it back up there. You can have a nice looking car but a shitty motor. The
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
what looks like can be distorted and misleading according to the portrayal given. That is so
yeah.
true.
Social
It
media.
is.
I
Yeah.
have
Media.
witnessed marriages that look good on the outside but are ugly on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of
Both.
internal. They look good on paper, but they're ugly on the inside. I'm just like, what the hell?
Mhm.
And then when you finally see it, you be like, what? And
When
these
you
are
see the
people out
cracks.
here, man.
Mhm.
So factors for our youth, and really just anybody who might be considering getting married. Y'all got any factors that they should think about?
How do you feel about yourself as a human being?
Mm. Ooh.
Yep,
Ooh.
that's it.
Okay.
Yes. I would say the ability to work together.
Mm.
You gotta know
Teamwork. Okay.
teamwork.
What did she say earlier? Conflict resolution.
Oh,
Conflict
conflict
resolution.
resolution.
Conflict
Yes.
resolution. Yeah, you got to
Do
be
you
able
have
to.
any tools?
That,
All right. So invest in some conflict resolutions, and these are separate pursuits, right? That could be also joint, right? So it should be like joint
together.
and separately. You should be working on these things jointly and separately.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
don't see why not.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
This is for
King
people who are
Newborn, you
getting
were over there
married.
clearing your throat.
Yeah,
So
he let him.
There
He
he
cleared
is.
his throat. Hold on.
Oh, look, there you go. He looking up again. He looking up again.
I just want to throw some numbers out. That's all. I just want to throw some
Okay.
numbers out.
There he go.
In the U.S., Asians marry at 61%, whites marry at 55%, Hispanic marries at 43%, blacks marry at 31%.
Ooh.
70% of black women will leave their marriages without a higher education. 90% of black women will leave their marriages with a higher education, college or better. 1 in 7 marriages will end in divorce over social media. That right there is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
55% of black men in America are single. 62% of black women in America are single. 19% of black women in America will stay single. 15% of black men in America will stay single. 51% of black men will never marry. 47% of black women will never marry.
Mm.
Wow.
In the US, there are only 19.9 million black men. In the US, there are only 21.6 million black women. We only make up 4.8 million marriages in the US at a population of 13%.
Wow. Wow.
Most marriages in the US are done for legacy, finance, and building families. Black Americans, or I'm gonna say blacks in the US, marry for commitment and love.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Those are
whose statistics are those?
So
That is the
According
Census
to who?
Bureau.
Okay.
U.S. Census Bureau. That's facts.
reliable.
Oof.
Wow.
All right, I'll make this one my last question to the panel and to the audience. Should the cost and or process to get married be more difficult than getting a divorce? Now, I say this because of how easy it is to get married, but it's a lot more legwork. Like, really, just think about the divorce rate. Okay, let's just consider the divorce rate.
Sorry. I was
So
reading.
if you, let's just say, for example, if you were to apply, I don't know, if getting married costed, I don't know, $1,000, right? In terms of processing your application and all that. And I say this because a lot of people are probably going to take that $1,000 a little bit more seriously versus $150 for an application. You fill that out, you get married, you get a divorce. Oh, okay, we're going to have to give you a period where you wait. And then we're going to tag along, oh, yeah, you're going to have to split up your assets and you're going to have to pay for this. Oh, lawyer fees. All right, well, why doesn't that work the same way with marriage? Why isn't it that this is a very serious thing? This is a commitment. Oh, how easy is it to get a car? You think you just go in there and just no paperwork? Right?
Right.
You
You
gotta get
gotta
a
have
credit
certain
check.
requirements, right?
You
We
gotta
make
have
it
a down
difficult to get
payment.
life insurance, even, right? There's certain products in the United States that require a process, right? With marriage, it don't take that long and it's very inexpensive. But it can
Man,
also end up becoming the most expensive, quote unquote, mistake that you've ever made. Because, you know, some people say their marriages were mistakes. That's why they're getting divorced, right? That could be the most expensive. You done built a life with this person for, I don't know, 5 years, acquired assets. Now you're paying alimony, child support, yada, yada, yada.
that is
Would
true.
it be a deterrent? And even the value of marriage, would it increase if there were more barriers in place? Hey, before you say, okay, processing fee for this application is X amount of dollars. And then, you know, you're gonna have to pay this $1,000 for whatever, you know, you're just gonna have to make something up in place that legitimizes that. But to make it more expensive, some people will be like, oh, now this is criminal, this is a crime. But
You
you
know,
don't have that stringent attitude to treat this like an investment. Before you buy like, you got to put in some big money for an investment. So why is it so cheap to begin with? It's just an idea. I'm not saying that's what we should do.
Why
But
is it
I
there's a
just,
why is there a cost?
Right.
Anyway,
Period.
well, I mean,
Period.
I mean
so
that part. Why do
we've
we
been
even
saying
have
it
to go
throughout,
there?
right?
Right.
We've been saying it throughout. It's a business. Businesses aren't cheap.
Yeah.
You still got to get
Yes.
registered. You got to
I
register your
think-
business. You got an LLC. Oh, the state needs to know that's an LLC. You can't just call yourself an LLC. Oh, you an LLC? Oh, because if a loan comes out, if any benefits comes out, access to resources, you don't have access. Oh, you ain't registered. We don't recognize you as a legitimate business. Yeah, you out here making money. We gonna get our cut. Oh, you've been married and you probably building over here. We gonna get our cut somehow.
Just
Had
want
a
to
household.
It should cost more.
just want to speculate,
Single.
right? Just want to speculate. Maybe the reason why divorce costs more is because of the fact that if you think about the original design of marriage, it wasn't to get divorced in the first part, in the
Yes,
first place,
that's true.
right? So when you heard like the older generation when they used to always say it's cheaper to keep her,
Yeah.
maybe that's the reason why that generation, like our parents' generation, was always like, you stay in your marriage no matter how difficult it was,
Mhm.
you know,
Mm.
and it costs and it's work and it looks like crap on the outside, but it's, you know what I'm saying? But it is work. Maybe the reason why it costs so much to get a divorce is because of the fact that, especially when it comes to governmental things, it wasn't supposed to be a part of the process. Because I mean, who really gets married to get divorced in the first place? To
Right.
get divorced, you know?
That
I mean, does
part.
anybody? I wouldn't think that anybody would go into a marriage thinking, "Oh yeah, it probably about 5-6 years down the line we're gonna split up. So let me go ahead and put this 10K to the side."
Heck, we could
Okay,
even do
so
term marriages.
Mhm.
That's an option. Term marriages.
so
Yeah.
to a degree, what Ms. Tanner said, that is a trending topic. Get married so that way I can get paid on the back end when I get divorced. With the women's movement, and then along with equality, equal rights, um, divorce
What?
had divorce had spiked.
Mhm.
Divorce has spiked
Mm.
majorly. It's so much money. It's big business in divorce.
Mhm.
It's just plain old big business in divorce. There's no other way to look at it. You know what? I hate this, man. I don't know. That's a whole another topic. Because it is an easy out for somebody feel a particular way. You can be like, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. Oh, okay, cool. Just file this paperwork. It's gonna be 7,000. And we'll make him pay for everything.
I like Amina's comment though to that question. If you look at it like, because you get a marriage license, right? So,
Mhm.
and this is a vehicle that we're operating in, relationship vehicle. Y'all see what I'm doing there? Boom, that boy cooking. But you do have to go through a series of tests to prove your fitness for marriage.
Yeah.
Like, just think about that. If there was a course that you had to take, what I gotta, in order for me to get married, why do I gotta take these courses? Because you ain't educated. And if you are, then just show us.
Listen,
So
shout out
maybe
to Corey
design a
Dunn.
series of
But I know. Thank
Emotionally
you,
intelligent.
Corey. Go, Corey. He don't usually get a chance to watch us, but
yeah.
maybe he watching tonight.
I didn't mean to cut you
Oh
off,
yeah.
John, but yeah, I was just because he has been dropping
Yeah, he
bars
has.
the entire time, like
Thank
bars.
you, Corey.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah, he has been. He has been dropping bars the
Is
entire
this the
time.
one that recommended that we do the page? Who was the guy that recommended that we do the page? What's his name, Corey? Is this your friend, John?
Yeah.
Okay, now that wasn't him. I think it was King Newborn's friend. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I keep him out.
But I'm gonna pinch off the questions right there. I know we're pressed for time.
Yeah, what you got for us tonight, John?
Oh shoot! So just like that, just
Yeah, John, what you got for us tonight, baby?
just no foreplay or okay. I want to bridge. I want to bridge last week's topic with this week's.
Oh.
Um, Cause yeah, that was smooth how you did that little transition, right?
Oh, thank you.
So I said, she wants to be more than just friends. I just want to be the lover she trusts in. Slow down. This ain't the Soviet Union. No need for rushing. Yeah. She believes she must win. She won't lose. It's her way or no way. I won't choose. Nowadays, we're fussing and cussing in our discussions. She starts lusting when she gets heated up. So we hit the bedroom and like a percussion, I beat it up. We make music, staying under covers, sonically in tune with each other. We make a perfect song. We don't even need a title. We're going with the flow, moving like a tidal wave. I don't want to fully invest. I'm not trying to tie you down like a damsel in distress. We're just friends. You see, I'm a ladies' man, not Leon Phelps, but it's crazy. She tried to keep me in the box like the Bradys, but I wasn't born yesterday like aborted babies. I'm nobody's property. I gotta be free. Honestly, I'ma just be like 2 college degrees, a bachelor with a master's, because knowledge is key. She's trying to get me out my shell like pistachios. Am I nuts? I can't be. No. I'ma fall in love. Catch me if you can. I'm DiCaprio. Whoa, my apologies. She's a Jedi, so clever with that reverse psychology, but I need a woman like that, living in my life as a friend, not a wife. We're just friends, but we're not friends with benefits. Being my friend is the benefit. I benefit from leaving her grinning to better her living. I'm giving her miles of smiles that lead to new beginnings. Yeah, I'm trustworthy. I tell her what she needs to hear. I'm a good listener. She don't really need to fear misunderstandings because I exhibit patience that dissolves the miscommunication. Even when we're on the phone, long distance, mouth stay running like a marathon. We always talk about something that we carry on, like our luggage on a flight. Time flies when you're having fun with the right person in your life, so your life gets better as time flies, and you hope that it never lands. Now we're talking about forever love, a plethora of better stuff, etc. College funds, mini hers, mini me's, minivans, wedding rings, the family tree. And then you marry your best friend. And to think you were just friends.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fire.
that's what it is.
man. Oh,
That's what it is.
Love
Yeah,
you,
that's an
John.
old piece. That's super old.
Wow.
man.
Yeah. It's like
All
the
the
second
class.
album. Yeah, that was the second album.
Yeah, it's
You
very
got
fitting.
5. You got 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
5
heard two.
albums.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
no,
heard
those
two.
2 aren't even included in there. That's just 5 on. Yeah, there's more out there. I just,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I've been
think
working
it's
on it.
about 9 of them, John.
I done
Is it
lost
9
count,
now?
bro.
Yeah,
I'm just
about 9 of them.
Oh
so
my
God
God.
level. What's our topic for next week?
What is love?
We're gonna talk about love.
What is
Love.
love? What does love
Ooh,
mean to
yeah.
you?
Mm.
I like the way King Newborn put it. He was very raw and upfront. Are you gonna wipe my ass when I can't?
Mhm. That's a real
Are
question.
you? That's
Yeah.
real.
Bars.
Because yeah, are
Oh
you?
man.
Because you hear about tragic accidents happen, people freshly married, and somebody ends up in the hospital, and either the partner stays or leaves. And for the most part, I've been seeing the partner stay and help
Mhm.
them through their difficult time because they made that vow. I'm here to death do us part. Some people really take that, to heart, and
For better or
some
for
don't.
worse? What's the
Huh?
worst? For
Yeah.
better or for worse?
For
What's the
better or
worst?
for worse. Yeah, some people really live by that. When they said the I do, that's what they mean. That's what they are
Worst.
willing to do if that's what it comes to. So yeah, that's some love right there, honey.
Yes,
Mm.
it
It is.
is.
You know, to wipe my ass when I can't do it myself. I wanted to add on that, but I wanted to add that.
Oh Lord.
Leave that right there. But yeah, absolutely.
We'll be talking about love next week. So
We
be
talk
it.
about love
Ashe.
next week.
That's
Yeah,
true.
we're going out with love for the month of. Well, that's July 2nd. Am I correct? Yeah, that's
Mhm.
July 2nd. And then after that, we're doing police brutality. We're coming in on a hard subject, police brutality, part 1 and part 2. Thank you to securing those officers to come on the show. I appreciate it. Oh, my God. You know I get to run it. You know I get to run it. You can't give me the mic too long. You can't give me the mic too long.
Oh Jesus. Oh God.
Okay. People love her better. And yeah.
Omit the
Omit the
worst.
worst. Yeah.
Bars.
No.
Bars.
Corey, Corey's married, isn't he? How many years, Corey? How long you've been married? If you don't mind me asking. If you can still hear me, if you still watch it. I just want to know. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for tonight. For coming on our show. I appreciate it. This is our podcast, Things People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by God Level. I want to thank Amanda Fuller, full of love, Ivy Tanner, inattention. Am I saying it right?
Inattentive.
Inattentive Ivy. I want to thank John Master Skywalker. He's always coming up with our questions. So if you come onto our things that people don't, 26.
Yes, big ups.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, Corey Dunn.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that. Master J Skywalker, he always comes up with our questions that we put out on the things that people don't want to talk about on our group page. And if you haven't joined, please go ahead and join. Invite others over to the group. We are a growing community that is giving back what we have lost. Creation. Did that flow out? Did that flow out?
It just ran like water.
Yes, it did. Creation Divine from Hype Organization. She's going to talk more about that next week. King Newborn, he is of service to his community. Sabadi Amin is not here with us today, but he was with us in spirit. I had my shades ready for his ass. But anyway, don't forget to buy God Level Head at godlevel.com, godlevel1.com, because there's only one God Level, and that's me.
Okay.
With that being said, we will see you all back here next week with What Does Love Mean to You?
What love?
Love got to do.
Oh, yeah, you was just we were on it.
I was just
What
thinking
does
about
love
that
got to do with it?
too. Ooh.
All right,
All right,
John,
family.
you got me.
Salute.
So